All right, howdy, Court 6 members. It's Coach Mutt here with the big man, JT. For what is our first episode, episode 1 of your Court 6 Fix. Basically a monthly video podcast that Jamie and I are going to be putting on. Why are we doing this?
We're doing this, I wanted to do this just to kind of set up a way to regularly communicate with all our members. We're upwards of 100 members now, so if I have ideas or we have things we want to share with you, talking individual conversations are great. It worked well when we had less people, but for me to share one conversation individually with 100 people, it's difficult. Okay, it's hard to share all the information to say the same thing, so this is just a way we kind of put it out there once a month when we have things we want to talk about, and we can get one message out to everyone.
Yeah, so when the gym was one racquetball court and 30 members and one really soft-spoken coach, word was able to spread fast from the things that people did hear Jamie say. So now this is hopefully a larger platform for a gym that's much bigger than that, with a large community around it. So like I said, this is episode 1. What are we going to talk about?
So we have big things coming up in 2018, and we just kind of want to be able to share that with you. So first off, some of you have seen some notes. Some of our coaches are going to do some coaching seminars kind of in their relative field of experience. We got Kevin's going to do a double under clinic on January 20th. Just spend a bit of time with any level of people in double unders you want to get a little bit better, or it's a skill you've been working on that you want to actually get it. So that's January 20th, and for all of these we're going to put sign-up sheets up in the gym on the window to the office, so you can sign your name on it, and we'll keep track of who's coming, and then I think these will be really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so another one then the week after, so these are Saturdays. Cindy's going to do a rowing clinic January 27th. Everyone knows rowing's kind of we only have a certain amount of rowers, so that one will be limited to the first 8 people who sign up, and then if there's demand for more, she's going to do another one after that.
Yeah, the 2 things that you're not going to be able to hide from, if you're sticking with CrossFit, you're going to be doing double unders and you're going to be rowing, so a couple of good things.
Yeah, 2 great skills. They're important for your workouts, but in a short period of time you can make great improvements, so I think these seminars will help everybody out. Then February 10th we have an elite sports nutritionist coming. His name's Dr. Paul Beyond It. She's worked with some of us already. I started with him about 3 years ago. He's coming, he's doing a talk at the Rod Royalty, February 10th. So there's going to be some great information if you're interested. We'll put up more details about that in the coming days and weeks, but that'll be something great for everyone to kind of take in.
Awesome. So this being episode 1 of your Court 6 Fix, and it's January of 2018, something else we wanted to talk about are New Year's resolutions, because we figured there's probably some of those floating around within the gym.
Yep.
Do you make any?
I made a couple. I've decided make sleep a priority, so I've kind of committed myself to getting 7 or more, minimum 7 hours of sleep a night. I've decided that reading is important for my personal development to help me build the business of the gym, so I've committed to 30 minutes a day or 12 books a year. So I'm doing pretty well with that so far. And we have some big goals for 2018, so I have some business specific stuff. We'll get into that. Future stuff. Future
podcast episodes. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
So sleep, 7 hours a night is the goal?
7 hours a night is my goal. The recommended amount is 8 hours. So that's tough for a lot of people. You have to make some changes. There's about 750 scientific studies out there linking or measuring the impact getting the adequate night's sleep has on the body. So if you get the adequate amount of sleep, 7 hours a night, your speed is improved, your endurance is improved, explosiveness, your accuracy, your ability to process information, problem solving skills, your judgment gets better, your recovery. The right amount of sleep is going to help with your muscle repair and regrowth, and it's going to restock your energy. So basically, sleep is one of those things that's overlooked in terms of performance enhancing. Obviously, it's a legal performance enhancer, and it's literally one of the most powerful ones out there. If you're getting less than 6 hours of sleep, that would be considered sleep deprivation, and you're going to see significant decreases in your performance. The time it takes you to reach exhaustion becomes less, or you get more tired quicker. Your power output goes down, your cardiorespiratory capabilities goes down, you'll build up lactic acid quicker. So like the old saying, and everyone's probably heard this, you can't out-train a bad diet. Same applies to sleep. If you're not getting the right amount of sleep, the benefits you could be getting from your workouts in the gym will be minimized. And this is almost more so than the diet or nutrition part of it. The effects of one bad night's sleep will impact you much greater than having one cheat day or one day where your nutrition is a little off.
You are seriously making me question the decision to have another baby, so that's good. So you guys are witnessing the moment that I'm kind of crying inside. That's great. But that's when you're really focusing on sleep.
Yeah, it is.
What about more like traditional New Year's resolutions, like people saying they're
yeah, so a couple things. I want to stick with sleep for a second.
Okay, sure.
So what people can do to help them get more? A consistent schedule. So my schedule nowadays, coaching, some days I get up at 5, some days I get up at 7, and then my nighttime is a little bit off as well. So trying to kind of get a regular or more regular wake up sleep time will help with that. The more regular you can be, the better. People doing shift work, obviously that's not an option, but the more you can get a routine or regular, the better. So I've decided on the days when I don't have to get up early, I'm going to get up earlier than I normally do, and the days when I would stay up later than normal, I'd try to go to bed earlier.
Right. Okay.
So that's one thing. Working out late, try to avoid that. So our class is 8 o'clock at night. I wouldn't consider that late. Our classes run till then. But if people are going to their other gym or doing workouts at home really late, that'll affect your sleep as well. So try to avoid that. Caffeine intake. Caffeine can kind of hang around in the body for 8 hours. So this is one thing I kind of traditional New Year's resolution. I've decided to cut out caffeine after 2 p.m.
Okay.
2 in the afternoon, help me get to sleep. And then as you get close to bedtime, try to relax. So cut out the screen time, the TVs and the computer and the iPads, and read. So that's another one of my resolutions, to get more reading in, so that's how I'm going to do that.
Okay.
And then in your bedroom, cool, dark place to sleep. That'll help. If it's hot or if there's lights, that will affect your sleep as well.
Okay, you've done your research clearly. Or you're just making a bunch of stuff up. And no, I assume
No,
you've done your
I've
research.
read a few of those studies.
Okay, so yeah, traditional New Year's resolutions, cutting out sugar, trying to eat healthier, those sorts of things.
So those are great too. They can work. It has to be something. I didn't do that this year. I've done it in the past. It just has to be something that you can stick with, form the habit. It doesn't, like cutting out sugar for a year, that's a little aggressive. That's something that you're probably not going to be able to stick with. You're probably not going to be able to see through to the end. So it could be something like, I'm not going to have, and this is a story that I read in a book, Jack Canfield's Success Principles. It can be something like, I'm going to give up ice cream, except the guy in the story was a professor, except on a full moon. When there was a full moon, he allowed himself to have a bowl of ice cream. So something like that, like you can kind of make a goal, you kind of give yourself a little bit of leeway, not stress about.
How often does a full moon occur?
Once a month.
Okay, good. We're fine.
Once a month.
Okay, it's good.
Okay.
Just checking.
So, and then if it's not like, again, the timeline can help. Doesn't have to be disciplined for the full year. If you discipline long enough to make it a habit, is all you really need. So the studies kind of show up with 66 days. So if you're thinking like 2 or 3 month goal, then those positive changes become habit, and it's more likely to stick.
Because impossible resolutions are impossible to keep.
Right.
People that make the decision to go cold turkey on I'm never doing this again are going to fail.
That's right. And then you set those
statistically
goals, and then you're disappointed that you didn't reach them. Yeah.
Okay.
Something you can be happy about.
Okay. What else do we want to discuss? I know this has probably already gone viral. For all the right reasons, I would say. Yeah. What else do we want to talk about?
I want to get into programming a little bit.
Yes. So some changes to the programming at Court 6.
So yeah, we'll talk about the different levels we have. I'm going to rename, and you may have seen that already popping up on the website. Rename the different levels. We're still sticking with the three different levels to the programming. We're just going to rename it instead of scaled RX comp. It's going to be fitness, performance, and competition.
Okay, so there's an example of in the old gym, if you made that change in one day, every member would be aware of it, and because it was one rower and one tiny chalkboard, and that would be it. But this is kind of one of the purposes for this podcast.
Right, for us to be able to.
So what are they again? Because I'm already.
So they're fitness, performance, and competition.
Okay.
And we're doing that. I feel like it's a better description of what the intent behind each level is.
Okay.
RX scaled comp is kind of coming from the competitive side of CrossFit, and it's almost like it's an intended progression to go from one.
People go from scaled to RX, and then someday to comp.
Right, and that's not necessarily what we want everyone to do. It doesn't necessarily align with everyone's goals. Not everyone, in fact, a small percentage are going to get to that CrossFit is a sport competitive phase. So if you come in and your goal is just to grow healthy, run around with your grandkids, then fitness is enough. That's all you need to do, and you can feel good about that and not feel like you have to progress.
Yeah, I remember you saying to me years ago that you don't have to wake up every day just sore, exhausted, tired, feeling like it's a grind. Like that's not the purpose of the program.
Right.
That there's going to be days that are very tough, but it shouldn't be that it's hard to get out of bed every day.
You bet.
In which case you'd probably be training above the level you need to be at.
Right, so that's what fitness and performance are kind of for your daily athlete, someone who just wants to stay healthy and move and live a functional life into their old age. Competition is a little bit different. It's when people, it's increased volume, increased weight, so it's when you see CrossFit as a sport, with the increase in volume and weight, obviously there's an increase in risk. Kind of take a step back. Someone who's not doing the competition side of it really doesn't need to be doing handstands. They don't need to be doing kipping pull-ups. So what will come up in fitness then, you can get the same kind of stimulation to your muscles with push press, a dumbbell, or like push-ups instead of handstand push-ups. So
with less risk of injury and less taxation on the body.
Right. People on the first two levels really shouldn't be experiencing any kind of injuries, where if you're playing a sport or you're using CrossFit as a sport, that's going to be a little bit more of a risk.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay. So, what else? Episode 1 is packed full of great information. People they're just loving this.
Yeah. So another thing, since we're talking about the whiteboard, writing names, recording your scores on the boards. So coaches are going to write your names going forward, but we would like you to take the time to jot down your number, just so the coach can kind of stay out there in the class. Doesn't have to, again, ask every single person what their time, what their score was. You, when you're finished, you just walk up there, write your own score on the board. That will be very helpful. In the beginning, not everyone wants to write their score down. That's fine. Check mark, happy face. Check mark, happy face, perfectly okay. But on those benchmark workouts, they're heavy weights. It's very nice. We did one. What's the one we did on Monday?
The rowing?
Yeah. So we did one this week, and it's really nice to look back, see a year ago, I did this workout, and now I did it a minute faster.
So we don't have to do that one again for a year?
Probably not.
Okay. Or if the moon is full.
Right, the moon is full. You got to do it.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Okay. That's it.
That's all?
That's it.
Okay.
Stop it there.
I think so. People they're dying for more, but we'll have to leave them wanting a bit for next month.
Yeah.
So how about next month, which will be episode 2 of your Court 6 fix. What are some things we're gonna talk about in February?
So we'll have a little discussion on training, which is what we do in the gym every day. Training versus competition. So a little bit there on what you should be taking out of your daily workouts versus competition where you're trying to beat your buddy. So the daily workout should be about you learning something from the workout as opposed to having the quickest time on the board. So we'll dig into that a little bit.
CrossFitters would never have trouble with that. That's an odd thing to say.
We'll dig down there a little bit, and then we'll get into open season. End of February, we get into the open. We'll talk about that, give some strategies for the athletes who the open's kind of their goal for the year, and we'll give a briefing to those who haven't done the open and want to know a little bit more about what it is and if they should be doing it.
Cool. So to briefly recap then, this is a monthly video podcast that Jamie and I are going to do. It won't always feature an Evander Kane jersey on the back wall. Who knows who we'll be featuring next week?
Next week.
Exactly. But we'll keep people up to date monthly. So this month we talked a little bit about New Year's resolutions, changing and programming, and those upcoming coaches seminars for different CrossFit movements. Next month we've got some exciting things too, and we'll do a few little fun features once we get this thing off the ground. Sure. I know people won't believe this, but this was completely unrehearsed. It was seamless, so obviously
I don't think you'll be able to tell.
Oh, people will think we've spent hours and hours on this. But yeah, thanks for sticking with us for episode 1, and we'll see you next month for episode 2. Thanks, JT.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. We could have gone.
Thanks, Evander.